Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And if you are not aware of US politics, you're probably aware that we have a major presidential election coming in 2020. And by virtue of that, we just kicked off yesterday our primary season. This is when voters in all 50 states, regardless of their political party, get to start voting on who they want to see as the nominee for president. Both Republicans and Democrats go through this. And the very first state in the union to do this is Iowa. And their results are in, and it has been a complete disaster. Now, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who is running on the Democratic ticket, and these are all Democrats, basically delivered a victory speech to reporters yesterday saying, by all indications, we are going on to New Hampshire victorious. Bernie Sanders, also running as a Democrat, released a ranking that showed Bernie Sanders is winning yesterday in the number one position. Amy Klobuchar's campaign, basically a little more realistic, said that they outperformed Joe Biden to take fourth place in that in the caucus in Iowa, and Joe Biden is apparently in fourth place unless you ask Amy Klobuchar. This has been nuts, and the reason being is that basically Iowa tried something entirely new for their caucus this time around, and they started using apps on mobile phones to vote. Now, an attempt to modernize their entire caucus system, basically to make it more transparent, pretty much melted down. And it introduced not only just new technology with this app, but also more complex rules. And I've got a ton of notes here from a ton of organizations. And as I'm recording this right now, it is still a mess and nobody has been declared a winner. The Iowa Democratic Party was unable to release the results from yesterday's caucuses after it discovered quote unquote inconsistencies in reporting from some precincts. So by this morning, the Democratic Party said in a statement that it had identified a flaw in the app on your Android or iPhone used to report results that basically screwed up Monday night. And I quote, "We determined with certainty that the underlying data collected via the app was sound. While the app was recording data accurately, it was reporting out only partial data. We have determined that this was due to a coding issue in the reporting system. This issue was identified and fixed." This is according to party chairman Troy Price. Now, this didn't stop candidates, obviously, from declaring victories, and other candidates from launching conspiracy theories, as well as declaring victory on top of everything. So, for example, Mayor Pete Buttigieg declared victory. Bernie Sanders, his campaign, also said they came in at number one, but there have been rumors floating around, and I've read a zillion articles on this today to put together this video, basically saying, well, this flashes back to 2016 when the Sanders campaign had the 2016 nomination stolen from the Hillary Clinton campaign. And I am not getting into politics here. I don't care if you believe that or not. I am purely talking about the lay of the land and the facts on the ground from what I am reading and what is going on in Iowa. So please, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton fans or both, do not give me crap for this. I am purely talking about the logistics and known history here. Now, by virtue of this, several precinct captains in Iowa have come out and said that they were very leery or unsure of using this app, as this change. And there is now actually talk, and I just read an article about this, on having the next set of primaries in 4 years for the 2024 presidential election not have Iowa go first. So that is a pretty big blow to Iowa because they've been going first for as long as I can remember, though they haven't always been. So with that, we have to talk about the underlying issue here, and that is the challenges of using an app in such a large population of the United States. We know that we're going to have anywhere between 100 to 150 million voters voting nationwide, and we have had more traditional methodologies for voting. Most of the time we are on paper ballots, but we have seen electoral places move to electronic voting, and we have done a lot of videos on that. I have. Others have written. We had an 11-year-old break into a voting machine at DEF CON. This is a huge problem that we are facing. And when you have a problem like this, with an app like this, it opens a door to malfeasance. Like for what the Democratic Party is saying, that it might have 100% accurately collected all the votes. Now they have the ability to go in and manipulate it, because if the app isn't outputting the correct results, whatever that means to them, how can they manipulate it, change it, do anything like this? How can they verify that integrity and chain of custody? I've also read other articles that say that former Hillary Clinton staffers are actually part of the company that made this app, which is now throwing it into even further chaos. And again, I am not blaming anybody or anyone of any kind of malfeasance here. I'm not even getting into the politics. I'm simply enumerating the problems that we have when we are, one, adopting a new technology that apparently wasn't vetted completely into a system that has traditionally had a methodology, while it's not 100% perfect, has worked reliably to the point where everybody accepts the outcome. Iowa is going to be contested for quite some time, and if the Democratic Party releases the results of the Iowa caucus and says, Buttigieg, Sanders, whoever won this yesterday, I guarantee you the others are going to be throwing up flags where our internal polling data said this. Preliminary reports that got leaked to the press that the Democratic Party refused to release out here now confirms that I won this, not this guy or that woman or whoever this is. This is what we're talking about here. And if we are going to have a march towards better technology in our elections, we have to make sure that they're, one, married with security and privacy, but we also have to understand there needs to be a bipartisan chain of custody and review of these things, so that if it looks like there's any kind of malfeasance in the coding, or even just a legitimate glitch, somebody put a decimal place where they shouldn't have, and we are human, we make accidents, it needs to be reviewed and it needs to be certified. And so we are starting off to a rather messy Democratic primary by virtue of the Iowa caucuses. And I'm hoping they're able to rectify this to everybody's satisfaction. But quite frankly, there's only going to be one declared winner, and I can't see the others really looking at this and doing anything but cry foul. This is just the game of politics here. And again, not getting political. So please do not send me how much you love or hate whatever candidate I just talked about in a potentially negative light, because again, I am not casting aspersions on any of them. This is the situation they find themselves in, and it's in their best interest all to declare victory. At least that's what it seems like. And in Amy Klobuchar's point, I guess for her it makes sense to declare fourth place, because here we are. So those are that is your, I guess, election news and technology news of the day. This is something I think we're all going to be watching closely, especially since it's on the heels of the State of the Union address, which is also this evening from the president. So we'll see where that goes too. But right now, we just introduced an app into a major voting cosm here in the United States, and it failed spectacularly. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see what the future of apps hold in terms of future elections. But this is 1.0, and hopefully 2.0 will be that much better. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.